Listen up, fellas, because I'm about to tell you something that might just change your life. If you've ever found yourself doing everything for a woman and getting nothing in return, if you've ever been used, disrespected, or taken for granted, this is for you. See, the biggest mistake a man can make is thinking that love means sacrifice. Sacrificing his time, his energy, his dignity, and sometimes even his own future. But here's the truth: the more you give up for her, the less she respects you. Women don't admire weakness, they respect strength. And if you don't set boundaries, you will lose yourself in the process. So today, I'm breaking it down. If 6 things a man should never do for a woman. If you want to be respected, if you want to be valued, you have to stop making these mistakes. Because once you learn these lessons, you'll never chase love again. He'll chase you. A man without a mission is a man without power. Too many men put their dreams on hold for a woman, thinking that if they prove their love, she will stay. Wrong. A woman doesn't fall for the guy who sacrifices his goals for her. She falls for the man who is so focused on his purpose that she has to work to be a part of his life. If she disrespects you once and you let it slide, you've just given her permission to do it again. Respect is the foundation of every strong relationship, and the moment she stops respecting you, love means nothing. A king never explains why he deserves respect. He commands it by how he carries himself. A relationship is not a one-man show. If you're the only one calling, the only one making plans, the only one putting in effort, you're being played. A woman who truly values you will match your energy. If she doesn't, walk away. A strong man moves with logic, not emotion. If she can make you angry, jealous, or desperate with a single action, she owns you. Control your emotions, or she will control you. If she only calls you when she's lonely, when she's bored, or when her first choice isn't available, then you're not a priority, you're an option. A man of value never waits in line for a woman's attention. Either she chooses you fully or she loses you completely. A weak man bends his rules to keep a woman, but a strong man makes a woman rise to meet his standards. If she doesn't align with your values, your lifestyle, or your vision for the future, she is not the one for you, fellas. Being a man is about knowing your worth and refusing to settle for less. If you do these 6 things, you won't have to chase respect. You'll command it. You don't have to beg for love. It'll be given to you freely. Now, the question is, are you ready to be that man? A man without a purpose is like a ship without a compass, drifting aimlessly, waiting for someone else to steer the way. The moment a man places a woman at the center of his world, making her his sole priority while abandoning his ambitions, he unknowingly signs away his power. Women are naturally drawn to men who are driven, men who have something greater than just a relationship to live for. Yet too many men make the critical mistake of sacrificing their dreams, their goals, and their self-respect in the name of love. They tell themselves that if they dedicate everything to her, if they show her just how much they care, she will stay. But that's not how attraction works. The very thing that made her interested in you, the fire in your soul, the passion for your work, the hunger for success, starts to fade the moment you shift your focus entirely to her. She may appreciate the attention at first, but over time she will sense something is missing. That drive, that energy, that magnetic force that made you stand out from other men, it starts to disappear. The truth is, no woman wants to be the reason a man gives up on his ambition. She may test you, she may challenge your priorities, but deep down she respects a man who stands firm in his mission. A man who knows where he's going will always have an air of confidence that cannot be faked. He doesn't need to beg for love. He doesn't need to seek validation, because he is already validated by his own achievements and his own sense of purpose. The moment you let go of your dreams to revolve around her life, you unconsciously communicate that she is more important than your own destiny. And no matter how much she says she loves you, no matter how much she enjoys the attention, she will start to see you differently. She may not be able to explain it, but her respect for you will begin to fade. She will start to wonder where that strong, determined man went, the one she was first drawn to. A man must always remain focused on his journey. He must never make the mistake of thinking that a relationship is a destination. A woman is meant to complement a man's life, not become the purpose of it. The minute you start placing her needs, her emotions, and her expectations above your own long-term goals, you step into dangerous territory. You become dependent on her for your sense of worth. You start adjusting your schedule to fit hers. You stop chasing your goals because you don't want to be too busy for her. You begin to hesitate when making decisions, fearing how she might react. And the worst part, she feels it. She senses that shift. The strong man she was once drawn to has now become a man who is afraid to lose her. And that fear is the very thing that makes her lose attraction. The most successful, most respected men in history all have one thing in common. They never let a relationship deter them from their path. They understood that true masculinity is rooted in purpose. A man's purpose gives him power, and that power is what makes him respected, not just by women, but by the world. When you are committed to your purpose, you don't chase anyone. You don't need to constantly prove your worth because your actions speak louder than words. You walk with confidence because you know who you are and where you're going. You understand that the right woman will respect your journey, not demand that you abandon it. But the moment you compromise your mission for the sake of keeping a woman happy, you set yourself up for failure. The irony is, the more you try to please her by sacrificing your purpose, the less she values you. Women respect men who are willing to walk away from anything that threatens their mission. That's the kind of strength that commands admiration. Respect is the foundation of any strong relationship. And the moment a man allows a woman to disrespect him without consequences, he is setting himself up for failure. A woman will test a man, not because she wants to destroy him, but because she wants to see what he is made of. If she pushes your boundaries, speaks to you in a condescending tone, or disregards your opinions, and you let it slide, you have just taught her that you are a man who can be walked over. The way you allow someone to treat you dictates how they will continue to treat you. If you don't stand up for yourself the first time, she will lose respect for you. And once respect is gone, love will soon follow. Many men make the mistake of believing that tolerating disrespect will lead to a peaceful relationship. They assume that avoiding conflict and letting small things slide will make a woman appreciate them more. But the reality is, women don't respect men who constantly submit to their will. They may test your patience, challenge your authority, or even push your buttons just to see how you react. If you respond with weakness, if you allow her to talk down to you, dismiss your feelings, or control your actions without standing your ground, she will see you as less of a man. A man who doesn't command respect will eventually become a man who is taken for granted. Respect isn't something that is begged for. It is something that is demanded through actions. If a woman raises her voice at you, insults you, or plays manipulative games and you continue to tolerate it, you are teaching her that there are no consequences for mistreating you. Women admire strength, and that strength isn't shown through physical dominance or loud words. It is shown through firm boundaries. A man who knows his worth will not tolerate being treated like an option, being talked down to, or being emotionally manipulated. If she truly values you, she will adjust her behavior. If she doesn't, then she was never meant to be in your life in the first place. Some men fear that standing up for themselves will drive a woman away. They think that saying no or asserting their standards will make her lose interest. But the truth is, when you enforce your boundaries, the right woman will respect you even more. Women are drawn to men who command respect naturally, not men who seek approval by bending over backward. If you let a woman get away with small acts of disrespect, it won't stop there. Over time, she will push further, testing just how much she can get away with. Before you know it, you've become a man who is controlled, disrespected, and unappreciated. Respect must be mutual. Just as a man should never mistreat a woman, he should never allow himself to be mistreated either. A woman who truly values a man will respect his opinions, his time, and his emotions. If she constantly belittles you, makes fun of your ambitions, disregards your boundaries, or tries to manipulate you emotionally, then she does not respect you. And a relationship without respect is doomed to fail. The longer you tolerate disrespect, the harder it will be to regain control. That is why it is critical to set the tone from the beginning. A man who respects himself will never have to ask for respect. It will be given to him automatically because of the way he carries himself. If a woman truly values you, she will respect you without needing to be reminded. But if she crosses the line and you don't address it, you are showing her that she has the power to treat you however she pleases. And that, my friend, is the beginning of the end. A man must never put a woman on a pedestal, treating her as if she is above him, as if her presence in his life is some rare privilege that he has to constantly prove himself worthy of. The moment a man starts worshiping a woman, chasing her approval and making her feel like she is the prize while he is merely lucky to be in her presence, he loses all power in the relationship. Women are attracted to men who have confidence, men who carry themselves with a sense of worth, not men who beg for attention or validation. When you put a woman above yourself, you unknowingly lower your own value in her eyes. What was once attraction turns into obligation. And no woman desires a man she feels obligated to entertain. Many men have been conditioned to believe that if they treat a woman like a queen, showering her with gifts, compliments, and undivided attention, she will reward them with loyalty and love. But that's not how human nature works. True attraction is built on respect. And respect is earned, not given freely because of desperation. When a man worships a woman, constantly placing her happiness above his own, he starts to become predictable. He loses his edge, his mystery, and his ability to command respect. A woman cannot admire a man who revolves his entire existence around her. She may appreciate the effort at first, but over time she will feel suffocated. She will start to question why this man has no other purpose in life besides her. The mistake many men make is thinking that prioritizing a woman over themselves will make her see them as the perfect partner. But in reality, it has the opposite effect. A woman does not want a man who acts as if she is his only source of happiness. She wants a man who is already fulfilled, who has his own life, his own ambitions, and his own sense of self-worth. She wants to be a part of his journey, not the entire purpose of it. When a man makes a woman his everything, he sets himself up for disappointment because no human being can carry the weight of someone else's happiness. It is an unfair expectation, and eventually the pressure will push her away. Confidence is not about arrogance. It is about knowing your worth. A man who knows his worth does not chase. He does not beg for attention. He does not place a woman on a pedestal while neglecting himself. He understands that he brings value to the table, and he expects to be treated with the same respect and appreciation that he gives. The moment you start seeing a woman as something greater than yourself, as someone you need to constantly impress or win over, you give away your power. And once that power is gone, so is the attraction. The harsh reality is that women do not fall in love with men who worship them. They fall in love with men they admire. And admiration is built through strength, purpose, and self-respect. A man who holds himself to a high standard, who refuses to compromise his dignity just to please a woman, is the kind of man who commands attention without even trying. He does not need to put a woman on a pedestal because he understands that a real relationship is about mutual effort, not one-sided devotion. So if you ever catch yourself trying too hard, bending over backward, or constantly seeking validation from a woman, stop, look in the mirror, and remind yourself that you are the prize. You are the man who brings value, who has purpose, and who deserves respect. And the moment you truly believe that, the right woman will see it too. A man must never sacrifice his purpose for a woman. The moment a man abandons his goals, his ambitions, and the very things that define him, all in the name of love, he sets himself up for failure. A man's purpose is what makes him who he is. It is the driving force behind his confidence, his discipline, and his ability to lead. The second he puts that on the back burner to prioritize a woman, he loses the very essence that made him attractive in the first place. Women may say they want to be the center of a man's world, but deep down, they are drawn to men who are focused, who have a mission greater than them. When a man makes a woman his entire life, he unknowingly weakens himself, becoming needy, dependent, and ultimately less desirable. A man with a purpose moves differently. He walks into a room with certainty, knowing where he's going and what he's working toward. He does not get easily distracted, and he does not allow anyone to pull him away from his vision. This is what makes him magnetic. Women are naturally drawn to men who exude this sense of direction. But when a man shifts his focus away from his path and starts prioritizing a relationship above all else, he loses that fire. He starts seeking validation, constantly adjusting his life around someone else's needs, and before he knows it, he's no longer the man he used to be. He becomes softer, more uncertain, and the respect he once commanded begins to fade. Many men make the mistake of thinking that sacrificing their dreams for a woman is a sign of love. They believe that by proving their willingness to drop everything for her, she will appreciate them more. But the truth is, a woman may enjoy the attention at first, but over time, she will lose interest in a man who has no backbone, no drive, and no sense of purpose. Women don't admire men who give up everything for them. They admire men who stay true to themselves while making room for them. A woman wants to feel chosen, but she does not want to feel like she is your only reason for existing. The moment she senses that you've lost your purpose, she will start questioning why she was ever drawn to you in the first place. A man's purpose should always come first. That doesn't mean neglecting a relationship, but it does mean maintaining balance. A strong man knows how to love a woman while staying focused on his mission. He doesn't abandon his responsibilities, his career, or his personal growth just because he's in love. He makes time for a woman, but he does not revolve his life around her. He understands that in order to be a great partner, he must first be a great man, a man with vision, discipline, and an unshakable sense of self. A woman will test a man to see if he is truly committed to his purpose. She may ask him to skip work, cancel his plans, or change his goals to accommodate her. And if he does it too easily, she will lose respect for him, not because she wants to sabotage him, but because she needs to see if he is strong enough to lead. A man who easily bends will never be trusted to stand firm when life gets tough. Women admire men who stand their ground, who say, I have things to accomplish and I will not let anything, not even love, derail me. This is what separates men who command respect from those who beg for attention. If you ever find yourself choosing between your purpose and a woman, always choose your purpose, because the right woman will never ask you to give up your dreams. She will support them. And if she can't respect your mission, then she was never meant to be part of your journey. A man must never tolerate disrespect from a woman. The moment you allow a woman to belittle you, insult you, or treat you like you are beneath her, you set the tone for how she will continue to treat you. Respect is not something you ask for, it's something you command. And a man who respects himself will never allow a woman or anyone else to treat him with disrespect. Too many men make the mistake of tolerating bad behavior because they are afraid of losing the woman. They let things slide, they laugh off insults, they accept being talked down to, all because they think that by being understanding, they are being a good man. But in reality, they are only showing that they have no boundaries, no backbone, and no self-respect. A woman will test a man to see what she can get away with. It might start with a playful insult, a dismissive attitude, or a sarcastic remark. If a man ignores it or laughs it off, she will push a little further. She will see how far she can go before he finally stands up for himself. And if he never does, she will lose all respect for him. A woman cannot love a man she does not respect. The moment she sees that she can treat him however she wants, and he will still stick around, she will stop valuing him. And once that respect is gone, the relationship is as good as over. It's only a matter of time before she either leaves or completely controls him. Many men confuse tolerance with strength. They believe that by being patient and enduring a woman's bad behavior, they are proving their masculinity. But true strength is not in silence. It's in setting boundaries. A man who respects himself will not raise his voice, will not argue endlessly, and will not beg for respect. He simply walks away from situations where he is not valued. He does not need to explain himself or plead for better treatment. His actions speak for him. If a woman sees that a man is willing to leave rather than tolerate disrespect, she will think twice before crossing the line again. Disrespect does not always come in the form of direct insults. Sometimes it's in the way she ignores your words, disregards your time, or makes you feel like your thoughts and feelings don't matter. If you constantly find yourself being dismissed, interrupted, or treated like an afterthought, that is also a sign of disrespect. And the longer you tolerate it, the worse it will get. Women do not stop mistreating men who allow it. They only escalate. They will test, they will push, and they will see how much you will take. And the more you take, the weaker you appear in their eyes. Some men are afraid to stand up for themselves because they fear that the woman will leave. But what they don't realize is that a woman who truly cares for you will never walk away because you demand respect. In fact, she will be more attracted to you. Women want a man they can look up to, a man they can trust to lead, a man who knows his worth. And a man who knows his worth will never stay in a situation where he is treated poorly. So if you ever find yourself being disrespected, don't argue, don't fight, and don't beg. Simply walk away. A woman who truly values you will correct her behavior, and one who doesn't was never meant to be in your life to begin with, because at the end of the day, respect is not optional. It is the foundation of everything. And without it, nothing else matters. A man must never try to buy a woman's love. Too many men fall into the trap of believing that the more they spend on a woman, the more she will value them. They think that expensive gifts, luxury trips, and endless favors will win her heart, but love cannot be bought. The moment a man starts using his wallet to keep a woman around, he has already lost. Because a woman who stays for what you can give her will never truly respect you. She will see you as a provider, not as a man she admires. And once the money runs out, or once she finds someone who can offer her more, she will be gone. A man who leads with money attracts the wrong kind of woman. He attracts opportunists, gold diggers, and those who see him as nothing more than a resource. These women do not love him for who he is. They love what he can do for them. And once a man starts down that road, it becomes a never-ending cycle. He spends more to keep her happy. He works harder to provide, and he bends over backward to maintain her lifestyle, all while she takes and takes without truly giving anything in return. The relationship becomes transactional. He pays and she stays, but deep down, he knows she does not love him the way he wants to be loved. A real woman, a woman of value, does not stay with a man because of what he can buy her. She stays because of how he makes her feel. She respects his character, his confidence, his leadership, and his vision. A man who knows his worth does not try to win love with his bank account. He wins love by being a man of integrity, by setting standards, and by choosing a woman who values him for more than what he can provide. The irony is, when a man stops chasing women with money and focuses on becoming his best self, the right kind of women naturally gravitate toward him. A man who is confident, driven, and disciplined does not need to throw money around to keep a woman's attention. His presence alone is enough. But the moment he starts using gifts to compensate for a lack of self-respect or to make up for a woman's lack of interest, he loses control of the dynamic. She no longer sees him as a leader. She sees him as a man she can manipulate. A woman who truly cares for you will never demand expensive gifts or expect you to fund her lifestyle. She will appreciate your time, your energy, and your effort more than your money. She will support your goals, not drain your wallet. And the moment a woman starts making demands, treating you like an ATM, or showing more excitement over material things than over you as a person, that is the moment you need to walk away. Too many men make the mistake of thinking they have to prove their worth by spending. But a man's worth is not in his wallet, it is in his mindset. A man who values himself does not buy a woman's affection. He earns her respect through his actions, his confidence, and his ability to stand firm on what he believes. He does not need to impress her with flashy things because he knows his value goes beyond material wealth. So if you ever find yourself in a position where you feel like you have to buy a woman's love, step back and ask yourself, is she here for me, or is she here for what I can give her? Because a woman who is truly meant for you will never need to be convinced with money. She will be drawn to the man you are, not the things you can provide. A man who knows his worth understands that respect, self-respect, and purpose are far more valuable than approval or temporary affection. He does not beg for love, tolerate disrespect, or compromise his values just to keep a woman in his life. He sets standards, enforces boundaries, and walks away from situations that do not serve him. The truth is, A woman cannot truly love a man she does not respect. And respect is not given, it is earned through the way a man carries himself, through his discipline, his confidence, and his unwillingness to settle for less than he deserves. At the end of the day, a strong man does not chase, he attracts. He does not buy love, he commands loyalty. And he does not tolerate disrespect, he walks away without hesitation. Because a man who values himself will always be valued by the right woman.